All right, guys, today we're going to talk about linear measure. Lots of algebra. Linear measure. It starts off really easy, hopefully common sense. You guys have a calculator if you need it. First of all, yesterday we talked about lines. A line extends forever and ever and ever without end. Goes on forever. You can't measure the length of a line because it goes on forever. But a segment, you can measure the length of. So a segment is just a piece of the line. So if I have segment AB, it's just a piece of the line. It has two endpoints. It stops. Segment CD stops. Now, yesterday when I was talking about naming a line, we put arrows above it. If you're naming a segment, you don't put any arrows. Like segment CD just looks like that, no arrows, because it's not a line. So a segment stops. Everybody good with that? Yeah. So we can measure the length of segments. Let's talk about this. Oh, I forgot this was on here first. Okay, if you have three collinear points, do you remember what collinear is? Yeah. What's that mean?
Same line.
Same line. So if you have three collinear points and B is between A and C, doesn't mean it's in the middle. It's just somewhere between. If I take this segment AB and I add it to this segment BC, I get the whole segment AC. Does that make sense? Yes. If I take this piece and add it to this piece, you get the whole piece. Pretty easy, common sense.
Can you say that one more time?
If I take, really?
Why did you put letters in math?
Okay, so if I'm looking at this example, if PQ is 18.4 and QS is 4.7, how would I find the entire length? Add them. 18.4 plus 4.7, I get 23.1 centimeters. Now today on your assignment, don't put centimeters or kilometers or anything, just put the answer when you're typing it in.
So just put 23.1?
Well, I don't know if that was the first one, was it? No, yours is different on your assignment. Okay, what about guys, shh. Hey, what about this problem? How would I find WX? What would I do, Presley?
You would subtract 89.6 from 100.
So 100 minus 89.6, and I get 10.4. Very nice. What would I do if I wanted this whole length? Add them. Okay, so on problem number 1 on your assignment, it's the same type of thing. You're going to find the length of each segment. So when you want to find the length of AC, are you going to add or subtract? Add. That plus that equals the whole thing. What about, I don't know why this won't reset. I do not want you to put CM. Thank you. What about for GH? Are you going to add or subtract? Subtract. What about WX? Subtract. Okay.
Yeah, mine still hasn't popped up.
Oh. RS, you got to think about this one. It says ST is 15, and then it gives you the length of RT is 40. So what are you going to do to find RS? Subtract. Yep. All right. So those should be fairly easy.
Do you want to put RS equal?
I do not. I just want you to put the answer. Good question. All right, here's where the algebra comes in. I believe this problem that I'm getting ready to do is number 6 on your assignment. So you might want to look at this. This is where you'll need your scratch paper. So this has a lot of algebra. Problems like this, you're probably going to want to draw the picture out. So this says find the value of x and yz if y is between x and z. So when I draw the picture out, I make a segment xz and y is somewhere between. It doesn't mean it's right in the center, it's just somewhere between. So I'm just going to put y about right there. Doesn't really matter, it's just somewhere between. Then over here it says xy is 5x. So do you see where I have xy right here? I'm going to put a 5x. YZ is X, so I'm going to put an X here. And then it says XY, which is just this XY length. It doesn't say XZ. Says XY is 25.
X equals 5.
X equals 5. Thank you. If you know this is 5X and it's 25, yeah, X equals 5. So where it says X equals, I want you to put a 5 in there.
Yeah, can you wait? Because our school is loading.
No.
Lame.
Try to restart.
Yeah, I know.
So they're both 5?
Yeah. Then it says,
Yeah, I know.
okay guys, then it says find YZ. Well, if you know YZ is X and we know X is 5, what's YZ going to be? 5. So yeah, on that one I want you to put 5 also.
Hold up. Q.
Yeah, you better write it down. So number 6, X is 5 and YZ is 5. If you don't have it pulled up, you might want to write it down.
Presley,
Okay.
Do you have it right outside?
Did you see even press it yet? Press it again.
Okay, so you're going to have algebra for number 7, 8, 9. Let me do
20. Number 9. Wait.
Let me do one more of those.
Number 1 again.
No.
Number 12. Number 12.
Okay. Number 7. Let me help you set up number 7, and then I'm going to let you guys do 8 and 9 on your own. So number 7, it says find the value of X and YZ if Y is between X and Z. So on your scratch paper, you're going to want to draw it a segment, label it X and Z, and Y is somewhere between. It doesn't matter where. We just put Y somewhere between. Make sense so far?
Yeah.
XY is 12. So do you see where XY is? What am I going to put there? 12. YZ is 2X. And this time it says XZ, the entire thing is 28. So this one's a little bit different. So if I know the whole thing is 28, does it make sense if I take this piece plus this piece and put it equal to 28? So if I take 12 plus 2x, doesn't that give me the whole thing, which is 28? Now what would I do to solve that? Subtract 12. So 2x equals what?
16.
16, then what? Divide by 2, what's x? 8. We also need yz. How do I find yz? So I plug x in. 2 times 8 is, that's your answer.
That's actually super easy.
Why did they make them this way?
So you're going to have to do 8 and 9 the same way. So you'll probably want to draw a picture, label in what you know. You're going to take x, y, add it to y, z, and it's going to give you the whole thing. So you're going to have to use algebra.
Mine is still loading.
Hey, can I borrow?
How do you know which one is which? Oh, Lucas, you know which one is which? I don't know.
This,
I didn't figure out which one is X. Lucas, I'm not getting caught up.
It tells you. Oh my. Dude,
Doesn't it tell you what y is?
Mine is still loading.
Man, why does everything take so long?
Is yours still loading too?
Yeah, I exited out. I set it for
I have
the entire
no
lesson.
idea.
Can we what?
Well, the good news is I'm trying to record it so you can go back up and pull it up. Because I'll put it on YouTube. I don't know why it's being so slow.
It's recording on Monday.
Well, yeah, but wait.
Is
on
it still
YouTube or
recording?
Canvas?
Yeah.
It's recording. Hello!
Wait, on YouTube or Canvas?
I don't know why it's being so slow. So it's you and you. Is Lucas still having trouble too?
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, you're not even on Canvas, you're on Google.
Dude, that's good. I love because the Canvas one works. I'm like,
So
alright.
you even restarted your computer.
But if I open YouTube, look, it's gonna load. I don't even know why I have it. Oh yeah, cool, man. It's fast. We got boo-boo Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Boo-boo Wi-Fi.
This thing's been recording for 10 minutes.
Yeah, mine's like 3 4 there and still can't land it. Bro,
Oh, I haven't even been doing my
Equals.
Dang.
Yes. And then what is 3x and 4x together? Yes. Yes.
okay, I didn't get it because I was too busy on this.
Oh, is yours finally pulled up?
Nope. I gotta reload it now.
So technology can be a good thing and a bad
That's
thing.
a Fitbit, bro.
Never had an Apple Watch.
That was low.
When you're putting it up, it falls.
I don't even see, what the. Okay.
Okay, mine is still there.
I know, so is his. Okay, I'm gonna keep coming back to you guys, I promise.
Can we walk outside the hallway?
And see if it comes up. You can't. Do you want to see if it goes out in the hallway? Okay.
I just want to
People
Okay,
go past.
congruent. Do you guys know that the symbol for congruent is an equal sign with a little squiggly? Did you know that?
No.
Okay,
gotta get that.
congruent symbol looks like this. It's an equal sign with the little squiggly thing. Congruent means exactly the same length, the same size, the same shape, everything. Congruent. So, in geometry, when we mark things congruent, Xavier, you're paying attention?
Yeah.
Then, like, see how AB right here has a slash through it?
Yeah.
And CD has a slash through it? That means those pieces are congruent. Did it load?
Yeah.
Yay.
Wi-Fi works.
Okay, so, if they're marked with a slash, that means they're congruent. Never assume pieces equal each other. Never, ever assume. So, only if they have that slash through it. Now, what if I have another dot in here, and this is called Z. And I want you to know that BZ is congruent to CZ, but I'm not going to be able to just put one slash, because if I put one slash, you're going to think all 4 pieces equal each other. So I put 2 slashes. So that shows you that this is congruent to this, but it doesn't equal the others. So if you see the slashy marks, that means those pieces equal each other. If there was even another part, like say I put a X here and a Y here, and I want you to know that YA is congruent to DX, how many slashes do you think I would put?
A lot.
That means we only have to solve one equation.
Okay, yeah.
3.
I actually.
Do you guys see what the slashy marks mean?
Yeah.
It means they equal each other.
That means we only have to solve one equation.
So in geometry, they're going to put slashy marks to show you that pieces are congruent. They equal each other. So if AB is congruent to CD, there's a slashy mark. Never assume they're congruent. If I have, so there's only one there. If I have, say, another piece, and I want you to know that BX and XC equal each other, but they don't equal these, I'm going to put 2 slashy marks. And then if, say, there was another, and I want you, then you put 3 slashy marks. Yeah, so those just show you. Yes. So those mean congruent, same size, same length, but never, ever, ever assume pieces are congruent. They have to be marked, or they have to tell you they're congruent. Okay, so you have a couple problems, and you're going to have to say yes or no, are certain pieces congruent? First, though, let's look at this. If I look at this, do you know which pieces would be congruent to each other? Name a segment with 2 letters. AC and BD. So AC would be congruent to BD. That's what it's going to look like in geometry. Okay, do you see the slashy marks?
Yeah.
WX would be congruent to what?
YZ.
YZ, good. WY would be congruent to XZ. Okay, so I think it was number 2. Number 3. you're just going to say yes or no, and it's going to tell you what segments you need to be looking at. So on this first one, if I look at TU, what's the length of TU? 2. SW, what's the length of SW? Are those congruent?
No.
So put no in there. Just use yes or no and just type in NO. Okay, but if you look at this one, AD has 1 slash. Look at BC. Are those congruent?
Yes.
Yes, they both have 1 slash. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
GF, how many slashes does GF have?
1.
How many slashes does FE have?
2.
Are they congruent? No.
Absolutely not.
Okay. So those are just yes, no. Those are pretty easy.
I think I'm gonna pass. Last time I said that I failed.
Yeah, no
I'm
kidding.
gonna fail.
Okay, a midpoint is a point that's directly in the middle. But again, never assume a point is in the middle. It has to tell you. It might either say B is the midpoint or B bisects AC. Bisects means to cut in half. Or you'll see the slashy marks. So that brings us to the next type of question you'll see. So if you go down to question 10. Question 10. Do you see that PT has 1 slash and TQ has 1 slash? What's that mean? They're congruent. They equal each other. So down here it says PT is 5x plus 3 and TQ is 7x minus 9. Well, if those pieces equal each other, you're just going to put an equal sign in the middle and solve for x. So now do you remember how to solve if you have variables on both sides?
Yeah, you make them get them one side.
Yeah, put x's on one side, numbers on the other. Now me personally, I probably wouldn't minus 7x because I don't want to deal with a negative x. So I would probably minus the 5x from the 7x. So how many x's is that?
2x.
2x. So I still have 2x minus 9 and I have 3 on this side. Now what would I do?
3.
Add 9.
Add 9. So what's 9 plus 3? 12 equals 2x. What's x?
6.
I told you it was 6. Yeah,
Now what do I do to find the length of PT?
Addition.
12.
There's 3.
Plug in 6.
Plug in 6. So
Whoa.
5 times 6 plus 3. 5 times 6 is 30. What's 30 plus 3?
3.
Oh, dang, that was easy.
Oh, today is a good
But you
day.
do number 4. How do
What about
Later. Later. Let me get through. Okay, so are you guys okay with number 10?
Yes.
So number 11, you'll do the same way. You're going to put those pieces equal to each other. 4x minus 6 will equal 3x plus 4. Solve for x, plug it in. Same with number 12. All right.
I know, but I don't know if it's
I think my jokes are really stupid today.
Do you want us to put like the kilometers?
No, I don't. I just want the answer. Thank you. These are really stupid today. Sorry.
I don't even
Oh,
understand the
apologies.
second one.
So she's like, Miss Moriarty, my dog ate my homework. And she goes, looks like someone's going to have trouble passing this assignment. She's like, that's what the vet says. Like passing.
They're gonna poop it.
And then this, hey everyone, I'm going 80. Now I'm going 90. And then the police officer pulls him over. He's like, he didn't realize who was following him on Twitter. I don't know, stupid. They're just dumb. I apologize. Sorry.
I didn't understand the second one.
Okay, what was the number you wanted me to look at, Presley?
4 and 5.
Wait, no, not 4, 5. I figured out 4. It's easy.
1 through 14.
Not.
131.5.
4 and 5.
Can you do 4 and then 5?
Why?
It's 132.
Actually,
Just because there's words?
Yeah.
A hiking trail is 20 kilometers long. So if I've got this hiking trail, that's 20 kilometers long. Says park organizers want to build 5 rest stops, 1 on each end, so I already have 2 rest stops. Here's a rest stop, here's a rest stop. How many more rest stops do I need to make a total of 5? 3 more. So 1, 2, 3. So now I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rest stops. Well, if the whole length is 20, what would each section have to be to make 20?
4.
Okay, 4 8, 12, 16. Huh. That doesn't add to 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. It is 5.
Oh, that's what I said.
It's not 4.
You told me it was 4.
4 adds 4. Okay, but look, if there's 5 rest stops and I have 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, does that add up to 20?
Bruh.
I didn't do it like that. I just like.
Yeah, well, you did it wrong.
Would you do number 5 then?
Yeah.
Just to make sure?
6.
Okay, so this says, a straight railroad track is being built to connect 2 cities. So here's my railroad track. There's city 1, there's city 2. Everybody good so far? The measured distance of the track between the 2 cities, so this whole distance is 160.5. A mail stop, let's put our mail stop here, is 28.5 miles from the first city. So there's my mail stop. I want to know how far it is from the mail stop to the other city.
So you subtract 100.
Yeah, just subtract, yeah.
Okay.
I think, to me, guys, and this is huge in geometry, draw out the pictures. Because if you're just reading all the words, can you tell it's a lot harder to figure it out?
Yeah.
In geometry, start getting used to it now. You scratch paper and draw the picture. If you draw the picture, you can visualize it. If you don't, it's a lot harder to see. So geometry is almost all visual.
Are you kidding me?
All right. Yes. Okay.